a freshly repaired board set going back into a Funhouse. So the driver board had some work done to it previously. Somebody has installed one of these easy SBC 5-volt regulators. This is the green model, which causes the kind of a machine gun sound when you power down. Let me power down. Let me see if it does it on my bench too. Yeah, a little bit. It'll do it more in the game. So we're booting back up again. Running the L9 ROM. We're not in a Funhouse, so we get a few error messages here. An Opto 51 and the other Opto 55. Funhouse has two Optos. And since we're not in a Funhouse, it's seeing those switches in a state that it doesn't like. So we've got all the general illumination working. There was a discontinuity from one of the header pins here to the triac here. When the board came, it had this monstrous 15,000 microfarad cap stuck in here where C5 is. These things, I guess what I'd encourage people to do is, if you're looking for a 15,000 microfarad cap to put into C5, and once again, don't bother replacing any of these other ones, but if you decide to replace C5, find one that's got the same kind of form factor, and I believe that's like 30 millimeters by 40 millimeters maybe. I've measured that several times, but I can't recall. Because these big old ones here, there's the larger moment arm with the vibration in the back of the machine, and these solder joints are gonna fracture eventually. Somebody wisely replaced C4 and C2 before it leaks on this board. They put a heat sink on top of BR5. Not sure why. It ain't hurting anything, so I'm just gonna leave it right there. Let's see, we had a blown fuse. The rightmost fuse there is that F105, I think. The CPU board is a Rotten Dog with a build date of October 19. This one had a, it wasn't booting, so there aren't that many things that can keep a CPU board from booting, but there is one thing, at least one thing, and it's a dead processor. And you can see it. Well, I turned one leg up on here. That's my convention for identifying the chip as a failed chip. The legs on this thing are corroded, and you probably installed a Rotten Dog CPU board in the first place because the old one was corroded. Now we've got quite a bit of corrosion there on certainly the rightmost 7 legs there and a few over there. So this processor is unfortunately dead. So we'll set that down. NVRAM was already installed. Excellent. And the soundboard also came along with it. Now, somebody had done a partial recapping of this board. I replaced you can see a big tantalum right there, and this 22 microfarad. Here's a 47. These two over here are indicted sometimes in causing the LM1875 amplifier of overheating, cutouts, things like that, because amplifiers don't like DC, and that's what those two capacitors do. A couple of 47 microfarads, another one, 2 more. Those black ones in the center are also 47 microfarads. Somebody had already replaced 100, nice. And a couple of the 1 microfarad tantalums had blown at some point in the past, and somebody replaced them with these 2.2 microfarad caps. Also, they did the ones that you can't hardly see. They're on the back of the board, and they're 2.2 microfarad caps too. They work, so I'm leaving them. Here's a couple of 4700 microfarad caps that I replace. Again, same form factor as the original caps. And I'm going to send the guy, if I remember, a replacement one of these. I don't screw it onto there because we'll just get ripped off in transit. So let's do some testing of Funhouse. Switch test going across the diagonal. keeping in mind that Funhouse does not use column 8. So we can get up to 77, but there is no 81. And let's do the coin door switches. Whoops, sorry about that. Coin door switches, all good. Solenoid test. Those last 4 on the left, those are to control Rudy's eyelids and eye direction. GI test, and it was the blue string that was in op, but you can see that it is totally operational now. I'm going to come back to that. We'll do lamps and flashers. Now it's skipping a couple of them here. Funhouse doesn't use these 2 flash lamp circuits. But the lamp matrix is wholly operational. Outstanding. Well, that's Stewie, sorry. I'm mixing them up. Here we go. Let's listen to the snarky dummy.
We were pals. Get yourself a hot dog, you big sausage.
That one sounds really good. It's a shame that this DCS or pre-DCS soundboard is really just a rejiggering of the old System 11D 11581 soundboard. Good sound, or really good sound, didn't come along in Williams games until the DCS soundboard. So games like Funhouse, Whitewater, Twilight Zone, boy, it'd be nice to have better sound. People talk about pin sound. I don't have that much experience with pin sound, but I do have enough experience to know that the sounds aren't faithfully rendered, I'll say. And I'm a bit of a purist, so I like my sounds the way my sounds always sounded. I don't like to, I guess, add new sounds. Anyway, enough of me blabbering. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving with your friends and family, and introduce some new folks to pinball. And as we approach the holiday season, the Christmas season, I guess, hope you guys have got some nice pinball projects or pinball play lined up. Have a great holiday season.